When you're watching CNN, by the way, we are watching and waiting for Hillary Clinton to take the mic in Harlem. Live pictures there. She will be giving a speech on civil rights. We'll take it live. But let's begin now. Before we see the former Secretary of State, let's talk Republicans. This is getting extraordinarily personal and downright dirty very quickly. Donald Trump just speaking at a rally in South Carolina, again, hitting at his rivals, even calling up a veteran and a sheriff's deputy who just helped kick out a heckler. Here you go.
If it wasn't for Mr. Trump right here, I don't think any of us would have the voice that we have. This is the only man that's going to really bring America back. He understands what it means for me and my people out here who have been to war. Please, everything you talk about, Mr. Trump, I can promise you right now, my department and the departments around me, we need you.
All of this after calling Ted Cruz a basket case and a liar. Oh, and by the way, threatening to sue him if he doesn't retract his lies. Ted Cruz hitting back, telling Trump he has lost it. Then there is Marco Rubio joining the Ted Cruz is a liar chorus.
Well, he's lying, and I think it's disturbing. I said that at the debate. He's now literally just making things up. I don't expect he's going to apologize. It's part of their campaign strategy to not tell the truth, and it's troubling. It really is.
As for Jeb Bush, perhaps his patience appears to be wearing thin, telling Donald Trump he sounds like Michael Moore. All of this, and there are still 4 whole days until that South Carolina primary. Let me bring in A.B. Stoddard, associate editor of The Hill, and former U.S. Senator Norm Coleman. He is a Jeb Bush supporter, so to both of you, welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Brooke.
Thank you.
Senator, first to you. You know,
To a new level in these debates, not necessarily elevated, but...
You know, you were at that South Carolina debate this past weekend, called Trump out of control. Tell me why you thought he was.
Well, he certainly brought things to a new level in these debates, not necessarily elevated. But, you know, when you, not just Jeb Bush said he sounded like Michael Moore. I think Rush Limbaugh said the same thing. When you accuse former President Bush of knowingly kind of getting us into 9/11, ignoring what the CIA said, which is simply not true, it was kind of fast. What they say, jump the shark. Is that what the Fonz used to say? So I think Trump pushed it over the edge. Now, you know, ultimately we'll see what the voters say about that. But when you have Rush Limbaugh and Jeb Bush both saying that sounded like Michael Moore, not a Republican candidate for president, I think you're kind of pushing it past the edge.
Still, after that debate, AB, Trump is soaring in polls.
Right. Well, Trump supporters don't care if he accuses a former president of lying and starting a war intentionally, if he threatens. threatens to sue every day of the week, even if he's never going to do it. If he says maybe he's going to run third party again, all of this drama that he's doing is sort of part of his bit before he gets before people get to the polls. He needs to stay in the news, stay on top of the headlines, and so we should expect nothing less in the days to come before the primary on Saturday. His supporters, remember this, do not care how outrageous he is, how insulting he is. Yeah. They don't care if he comes to debates without any policy prescriptions. They don't care about policy purity. They don't care about religious purity. They're with him for a different reason. And so when Ted Cruz attacks him about his flip-flops on policy positions, it doesn't bother the average supporter of Donald Trump. They're with him for another reason entirely.
A whole other piece of this is what he said about the RNC. So let me just quote part of his massive statement that was released this time yesterday. Mr. Trump said, "One of the ways I can fight back is to bring a lawsuit against him being Ted."
Threatens to sue every day of the week, even if he's never going to do it. If he says maybe he's going to run third party again, all of this drama that he's doing is sort of part of his bit before he gets before people get to the polls. He needs to stay in the news, stay on top of the headlines, and so we should expect nothing less in the days to come before
Cruz, relative to the fact that he was born in Canada and therefore cannot be president. If he doesn't take down his false ads and retract his lies, I will do so immediately. Additionally, this is the key line, the RNC should intervene, and if they don't, they are in default of their pledge to me, AB. To me, that sounds like he's opening the door there for an independent run.
Absolutely. He's threatening to bring suit against Ted Cruz for his eligibility to run for president as someone born in Canada, and he's threatening to run third party because he thinks the RNC has violated his pledge to him. The RNC, as you know, handles debate prep and planning, but it is for anyone else, and Trump knows that.
Bernie Sanders supporters calling them Tea Party folks. But in the end, Donald Trump he's got 30%. Republican base. Not more than that. At a certain point in time, it's going to be Trump and somebody else. And so if it's Trump and somebody else and he can't kind of get past that number, and we'll see if this Saturday, we'll see if, in fact, he loses some of that support for kind of, I think, really going past the edge in terms of calling Bush, Bush lied, people died. I think, some Republicans respond to that, but AB's right. He's got his supporters, but they're not a majority of the voters in the Republican primary, and they're certainly, unfortunately, a small slice of the American public. He's the only person who's got higher negatives, running for president, got higher negatives than Hillary Clinton. And so in the end, he may be opening the door to do something else. I hope that's not the case. But he's not a reflection of the broad swath.
The campaign tells CNN that they do expect First Lady Barbara Bush